It's time to take a TO. You're listening to Take a TO with Coach Steve Turner and your host, Kirk Cross. Each episode, we take you inside the DMV sports scene and beyond. Sponsorship and advertising opportunities are available. And now, welcome to this week's episode. It's time to take a TO. Here's your host, Kirk Cross, with Coach Steve Turner.
Welcome to Take a TO with Coach Steve Turner. I'm your host, Kirk Cross, and we welcome you, our audience, to episode 16. You can find us on Spotify, Buzzsprout, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, and just about anywhere you get your podcast content. We are a weekly podcast where we talk local and national sports. We talk life. We might jump into some tough subjects. And, of course, we talk WCAC athletics. Thanks for listening. And, again, we welcome you to episode 16. Before we get into this episode, Coach Turner, how you been, sir?
I'm doing well.
For now.
For now.
Now, why is that, Coach? You got something on the horizon?
Oh, man, it's that time. You know, scrimmages are over.
Uh-oh.
Everyone's 0-0.
Okay.
And we got a WCAC playoff to play this weekend.
We got some Gallaudet action. We got some American action. On the girls' side, we got some Georgetown University action and then some American action, right?
Now, I don't know where the girls are playing that first round.
I'm pretty sure it's all Georgetown. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm thinking second round.
No, you're thinking states.
Yeah.
States are at Georgetown. I think the girls normally play their first round.
DeMatha, right?
At DeMatha.
I'm sorry. DeMatha, that's where that all happens. And I'm thinking next week, because that starts, what, Wednesday, Thursday next week?
Yeah, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Okay. And then, but right now, we've got to think about both sides of the bracket. So there's some buys, there's some things going on. People have positioned themselves. And I don't remember. I should have pulled the tape on what your thoughts were at the beginning of the season, but I'd be damn sure willing to bet you were pretty close with how everyone ended up.
Pretty close.
You were pretty close. Coach, are you ready for Thursday? Are you playing Thursday?
I don't have to play Thursday. I'll be watching somebody play.
You move over to Saturday.
I'm on Saturday, 4:30.
All right.
Third game of the day.
Okay.
We'll be watching the game tomorrow night.
Yes, you will. And I want to talk about that in a little bit.
Ireton versus Good Counsel.
All right. So, look, my week has gone well, but I will tell you, I do have something I got to talk to you about, and I got to cue something up here because someone deserves some love. So, as you know, my daughter plays high school basketball, and their season's over. They went 14-3. So, a successful season.
Very good year.
They lost a couple of games to Jody and his crew over at GDS, but we'll accept that. They lost a trap game as well in the midst of losing 3 out of 4. But, I've talked about my daughter, Chelsea, on this podcast before, and she's a defensive player. She does well on blocks. She locks down her opponent. She takes pride in that. On the offensive side, not a huge output. I mean, if she gets you 8 or 10 points, you're really happy, but she'll get you a few points here and there. We're winning the game. We're losing the game. We're winning the game, losing the game over at Stone Ridge. We're down by 10. We end up being down by 5 with a couple of minutes to go.
Wow.
Chelsea gets the ball. Short corner extended, baseline drive, off the glass, 2 points.
Let's go.
She gets it again. They get a stop. They're down 3. She gets it again, baseline drive, off the glass, 2 points, and 1 misses the free throw.
Okay.
We're down by 1. Stone Ridge gets the ball. They dribble up the court. They fumble it out of bounds. 22.9 left. Shot clock is now off. They get into their offensive set. And I thought about you because you run the hell out of some sets. Your Gonzaga boys run the hell out of some sets.
Thank you.
And they're moving the ball around. They get it to Chelsea. Number 2-1. She has to, do your thing, 21. Gets it on the left wing, 3-point line, throws it up, swish, let's go home.
21, can you do something for me?
And she said, let's go home. Now, there were, 4 or 5 seconds left. We stole the inbound, and they fouled our point guard, who's our best shooter. And she made some, but Chelsea's 3 put them up by 2. We ended up winning by 4. But I've never had my child, win a game.
Oh, it's a proud dad.
You know what else?
That one proud dad moment.
You know what else I've never done? There were kids coming in for senior night And I grabbed the first person in front of me, some 8-year-old kid who doesn't know what the hell hit him. I grabbed the child because I was so excited. So that's the way she ended the season. I'm very proud of that moment. And now
awesome.
we turn our attention to Adam, who tries out for tennis next week.
Let's go.
Steve, I did some games over the weekend, and nothing bad, but it was cold outside. But spring sports have begun.
It's crazy.
And those boys are outside practicing baseball in 30-degree weather.
Oh, and lacrosse and rugby and all that.
Oh.
We left tonight, lights out. Well, sundown.
Right.
Lights on the field. Lacrosse is out there practicing.
Reminds you of the Jared Turner days?
Hey, yeah, nah, because I wasn't standing there waiting for him.
He was a little beast. We talk about him in basketball.
He was tough.
He put some hits on somebody.
He had some nice, couple nice features done on him during this season.
Right. I think I saw something, right? On Instagram, maybe?
With him on Instagram. And they covered him on one of their basketball games about how he used to play lacrosse.
Yes. How are they doing up there? They got a game
They got a game tomorrow night, game Saturday, 2 games next week, and then they'll be here in D.C.
All right.
The week of March 8th.
Are there tournaments here?
The CAA tournament.
Towson or D.C. proper?
Nah, down at the D.C. Go-Go's Arena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I know you'll be taking in some basketball.
For sure.
Well, this week we're going to get into that Redskins talk as things look a lot different in Ashburn. The NBA All-Star break has come and gone, so now the playoff picture starts to come into focus. And, of course, the big weekend that we prefaced ahead in WCAC hoops. But first, we will take a break and return with this week's Starting Five.
You're listening to Take It To with Coach Steve Turner and your host, Kirk Cross.
A Squared Home and Office Solutions. A Squared is the go-to source for home and office network and audiovisual solutions. They will link technology to your lifestyle seamlessly. Visit homeandofficesolutions.com for more info.
From Washington, D.C. to Ocean City, Woodbridge to Columbia, Richmond to Virginia Beach, the hottest DJs are right here. The Mid-Atlantic Professional DJ Association.
Insurance Alliance Group manages the gap between damage appraisal estimates from your insurance company and what you are rightfully owed based on your policy. They work on behalf of policyholders with claim assistance and disputes to maximize claims. Insurance Alliance Group serves as professional advisors and trusted advocates. The Insurance Alliance Group handles business and home property loss. Request a free claim review with the property loss professionals. Insurance Alliance Group. Visit us at insurancealliancegroup.com or call 866-574-4773.
And now, back to Take It To with Coach Steve Turner and your host, Kurt Cross.
Look, here we go again. Starting Five. You know, it wouldn't be an episode if I didn't get caught up in introing before the intro's ready. Welcome back to Take It To with Coach Steve Turner. I'm your host, Kurt Cross, and we are now at our Starting Five. Before we get to that, though, you and I did talk about something off air that's fascinating because you and I have never coached together, but we were talking about the game is not really simple. The game of basketball, it's not super hard.
No.
Space the floor, move the ball, and you said make the right play.
Make the right play.
Those are the things you got to do, right?
That's it.
And we also talked about something else. You know, I think we are living in an interesting time where in the NBA, in the NFL, in college basketball, we're starting to see where younger coaches are coming through during our tenure while we're watching. It is a different game, and it's fascinating. So I'm going to ask you something about that in the Starting Five. But before we get to that, what is changing that we're seeing the changing of the guard?
Money.
Really?
The NIL, coaches are now having to worry so much about having money to get guys to lure players to their programs. Right. The vets who we've looked up to for years,
they didn't have that to deal with.
They didn't have to deal with that, and they don't want any part of it. And so they're making decisions to leave our game.
And the younger guys who are coming up in that NIL product, they're
stressing through it.
Right. They're stressing through it, but it sounds like they're willing to take it on. And I think the next 5 years are going to show you something in terms of, I talked to someone the other day who was asking about Maryland basketball and, why have they fallen off the women's side, why they may have fallen off. And, Maryland has not notoriously been generous in the NIL department.
They haven't. And,
Is that going to come back?
Well, I don't know, because the boys landed a big one today.
Oh, did they? Oh, the center, right?
Derek Queen.
Yes, I heard about him. He's a big-time recruit,
That's
right?
a big get for the men.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Now, where is he from?
He's originally from Baltimore. He's plays for the number 1 team in the country, Mount Verde.
Right. Maryland basketball recruit, 5-star center Derek Queen commits to Terps. I see that right here, yeah. Someone sent that to me about an hour ago. So I've seen him play then. You've seen him play live.
Played against him.
Right, you played against him.
Wasn't fun.
Anyway, this is where I asked Coach Turner 5 questions he's never seen or heard from me. He has 30 seconds to answer each question. If he goes over his 30 seconds... Coach, have you seen these questions before? Don't lie to me, sir.
All right. Kids sent them to me today. I'm sorry.
The kids sent them to you? Well, Chelsea came up with them. She typed them out to me, so.
She helped me out. She gave me a little sneak peek.
I'm not going to believe that, Steve. Look, we have a righteous starting 5, whether he admits it or not. Let's get into it. Question 1, put together. Oh, you know what? You don't have a pen and paper. Let me help you out, sir.
Uh-oh.
Let me help you out, sir. There's your pen. There's your paper. Put together your starting 5 from today's NBA players. Today's NBA players.
Today.
Yes.
Do you want them by position?
Yes, I want a point guard, a shooting guard, a 3-man, a power forward, and a center. A center is hard to come by, I know.
No.
He's feverishly putting it down.
Uh-huh.
All right. Your 3? No question there. Your 5? No question there. I'm looking at what you're writing. And I will give you this. If you want to, you can use Ja, even though he's hurt. If you want to. All right, he's got the 1, 2, 3, and 5. We got to come up with a 4. I think I see your number 2 there.
I'm gonna move these around.
All right. Okay, you moved him to the 4. All right, I like what I see so far. Tell the people what you got. Who's your starting point guard?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. Who's your 2 guard?
Booker.
Booker. Oh, you putting your money on Booker.
Yes, I am.
All right, cool. Who's your number 3?
Bron.
Your 4.
KD.
And you, the man who gets triple doubles like nobody else, will start at your 5. He is.
The Joker.
So we don't have a spot for, I can't say his name, Dallas Mavericks.
Luka.
You ain't got a spot for Luka.
I don't.
You don't have a spot for Luka.
If Bron was out, Luka would be in.
I'm interested in that Booker thing. Why Booker? You're not starting Shea.
You're not with Steph, Booker, and KD.
Okay. You got your scoring.
You're not double teaming anybody because that's 3 bona fide shooters on the outside.
All right, I got you. All right. I'll accept that. Number 2, if you were implementing, this might be a tough one, but I'm sure you don't mind speaking on this. If you were implementing rule changes for WCAC basketball, what 3 things would you change? Rules or concepts, or what would you do there?
It's a great question.
What rule changes or what would you implement in the WCAC that you don't have now? Would you eliminate play-in games? Would you do this, that? What would you do? You're on the sidelines for 25 games in the regular season. What would you change?
Well, I'd like to see us go back to playing each other twice.
Okay.
That would be number 1.
Okay.
Number 2. I'd like to see us have our own pool of officials.
Okay. I like that.
And number 3.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to see something like the lowest team moves to a different division, you move someone else in?
No.
Nothing like that. Okay.
We're the best league in the country. We don't need a A and a B division. Just one division.
All right, gotcha.
So that wouldn't change.
You get to write it now.
I don't know that there's anything else I'd change.
Okay, cool. The Redskins have new leadership, an entire change in the coaching staff, ownership, and perhaps a new stadium in the coming years. What are the three most pressing needs of this team right now?
O-line.
Okay.
Possession receiver.
Okay.
We be getting toasted. Get us some D-backs.
All right, gotcha. You've coached at Gonzaga for 20 plus years. What are a few differences between today's player in your program and the player when you first began on I Street?
They won't like when I say this.
Uh-oh.
I just think the toughness of the kids are different.
Okay.
And I think that's not to their own undoing.
Right.
I think we've gone away from the day of when you learned in the streets against grown men.
Right.
To everything's about the trainer.
Okay. All right. I can see that. So you're saying when they played up on Georgia Avenue or at Turkey Thicket, that was a different kind of basketball.
I just think the rite of passage is just totally different.
All right. So now you got to keep 3, eliminate 1.
Okay.
All right. You got to keep, this is all Chelsea. Keep 3, eliminate 1. Concerts. I'm going to give you 4 concerts that we're making up, or she made up these concerts, and which concert goes away. Adele and Usher on the same ticket. Drake and Shakira on the same ticket. We've seen this one before, Jay-Z and Beyonce on the same ticket. And Taylor Swift with Bad Bunny. Now, what you're looking at is you're looking at Adele, who's a songstress. Usher, straight off the Super Bowl performance. He's at the top of his game. He's got his residency.
This wasn't hard.
You got Drake and Shakira. Drake is probably the most popular rapper in the world, and Shakira has transcended Latin music, American music. Jay-Z, can I build up?
You can build it up, but it's not a build up. This is too easy.
Jay and Bay, and then Taylor Swift, who's killing every concert tour, and Bad Bunny, the hottest thing in Latin music right now. I think you're getting rid of Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny.
I am getting rid of Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny.
She's the biggest thing in music right now.
She's the biggest thing in music because she's on TV every day through the NFL.
Not her fault, and her concerts were sung out before she was on the TV.
I have nothing wrong with Taylor, but for who I like and the music I like, that's just a simple one.
All right, so if you get all the proceeds from one of these concerts, which one do you want?
I think I'll be all right with any of them.
Right?
I think I'll be all right with any of them. I think Jay-Z and Beyonce is the one I want the money from.
Well, she said that Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny would be the one you eliminated. Chelsea did say that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting 5. The starting 5.
You're listening to Take a TO with Coach Steve Turner and your host, Kirk Cross.
Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. With a stellar reputation as an outstanding mortgage lender, Ray Cruz serves the lending needs of real estate professionals, builders, and individual home buyers in Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Texas, California, Florida, Illinois, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Ray believes that integrity is the cornerstone of his business, and helping you achieve your home financing goals is his business. Located in the heart of Bethesda, contact Ray P. Cruz today to get started. Your home mortgage or refinance options await. Call 301-761-2278 or visit raypcruz.com. Ray P. Cruz, mortgage intelligently.
You're listening to Take a TO with Coach Steve Turner and your host, Kirk Cross.
Listen to us on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and other popular podcast platforms. Tune in on your preferred podcast platform. Be sure to listen, subscribe, and spread the word.
Guarantee the most epic and talked about homecoming or prom when you hire the Mid-Atlantic Professional DJ Association.
Visit us online at www.mapdja.com. The Mid-Atlantic Professional DJ Association, serving the entire East Coast.
And now, back to Take a TO with Coach Steve Turner and your host, Kurt Cross.
Coach, I wanted to get to something I didn't get to yet, but in the past week, locally and not so locally, we've seen some things. I called a game with 2 ejections and 4 technical fouls, and now I'm looking on my screen, and 8 players are suspended for the Texas A&M Commerce Incarnate Word Brawl. You saw it, I assume, right?
I did see that after the game, handshake line, and
right here. And just a bunch of things. Now, this must have brewed from something earlier in the game. Someone said something.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is just, there's no place for this in basketball, obviously. We understand that, this is a highly charged game and people are just, we're talking athletes, we're talking adrenaline and all of that. But, for what we're looking at on our screen with multiple players, we're talking 10, 12 players from each team getting involved. And there's one kid somewhere who just won't stop and keeps going after people. That kid right there, number 8. Looks like number 8. What do you know about this, Coach?
I have no clue of what happened. I can only assume there was some jawing probably going on somewhere during the game. Some things were said in the line, and the melee ensued. It's an unfortunate thing in our game, and certainly in any sport. This is not something that should be happening.
Right.
And at some point, the cooler heads have to prevail. I mean, you see the coaches. I thought they did as good of a job as they could trying to break things up and keep people separate, but it seemed just a little too much too late.
Yeah, well, and I called a game this past weekend where, I saw a couple players get tossed. I saw a bunch of techs go out. And, hey, look, one thing that these young men and or young ladies, I didn't call any games where women were kicked out, but you got to understand, you and I discussed this prior to the show, but if you're getting tossed out of one game, you got to be out for the next one.
Well, that's the rule in our league. I don't know about everybody else's league, but in our league, you get tossed no matter what, non-conference, in-conference.
Oh, okay.
You're sitting the next game.
Right, and you're not helping your team out, especially in playoff time.
No way.
When you do that. All right, well, look, the Skins, as mentioned, in the starting 5 have a new look. Dan Quinn's your head coach. Cliff Kingsbury is your offensive coordinator. Joe Witt Jr. is your defensive coordinator. And then among coaches that are notable, Ryan Kerrigan, Ken Norton Jr., Larry Izzo, and some others join an entirely new staff. You and I have not spoken about this in depth. We probably agree to a certain degree. I don't want to see a bunch of cowboy coaches over here, but we got our crew. For better or for worse, this is our crew.
I just want to see coaches who are going to coach this team up and get us back in the playoffs. I don't care where they came from.
Are you excited?
I mean, I'm definitely excited. I'm more anxious to see what we do through the draft and hopefully through some trades and see what we bring to give ourselves a chance.
Is this the crew to get it done? Do you think they did right? Do you think Dan Quinn's a good choice?
Remains to be seen.
All right. And what are your expectations, if any?
More wins. And I'm not even on the verge of we got to be in the playoffs.
Right.
But I need to see progress.
You haven't been there. You weren't there at the beginning of this.
I always feel
season.
Like there's a few years to grow. Mm-hmm. This is a major change. I'd like to see us making progress over the next 2 years.
What's going to happen with these draft picks?
That's a good question.
Now, what do you want to see happen?
I mean, I've said it earlier. We need some linemen. Mm-hmm. We need a possession receiver. We need some D-backs.
What are you going to do first of all, we don't have these questions scripted. This is really rapid fire right here. We're going to run out of this session before too long. What do we do about the quarterback position, though?
If you can get Caleb Williams, you got to go get Caleb Williams.
There's a lot of stuff going on in Chicago.
But Chicago's now, from before saying they were going with Fields, now You're seeing rumors of where they're moving him.
Right. So if they move him, they're picking up Caleb. I mean, you don't get rid of him and not get...
Who doesn't want to go there?
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Fascinating. But his offensive coordinator, or at USC, his head coach interviewed for an offensive coordinator position in Chicago. That was weeks ago. I don't imagine they gave it to him. They didn't give it to him. But that would have been a lock for him to go there, because why would you jump from college to the pros unless you're bringing your guy with you?
True.
Right? So I don't know if that's going to happen, but he doesn't want to go there. So Steve Francis didn't want to go to Vancouver, right?
Figured it out and he got out of it.
Right. So I don't know.
I don't think Caleb's that guy.
Right.
Speaking of, Stevie, pick up your phone, bro. Been calling you all day. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday, Stevie Franchise.
Happy birthday, bro.
All right. And he's as close to blood as you can get, right?
True.
As close to blood. Because I remember from our episode, your mom called him Little Stevie.
That's what she still calls him.
Oh, that was a great episode. If y'all didn't hear that one, just look up Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill on YouTube, and you'll find that. I don't remember which one it was, but Steve Francis is on the cover. He was NBA Rookie of the Year. He was a 2-time All-Star, and we had him on the podcast, and there were some good laughs. And it's fascinating you would mention his name because not too long ago I re-listened to that episode and loved it. Loved every bit of that episode. But so if Caleb Williams is not available, there's this cat. I'm not an NFL guy. I'm an NBA guy. There's this cat in North Carolina I think people are looking at as a quarterback. Is that correct?
There's a couple out there.
Okay.
I feel like if we can't get Caleb.
Mm-hmm. You want a known product.
No, or let's go do some things and protect my guy back there that we got now.
Okay. All right. So keep Howell.
Yep.
And spend money elsewhere.
Yep.
But protect him.
Protect him.
Corn-fed mules from Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Oklahoma, Texas. Get those big boys up front, right?
Big boys that can move their feet.
Okay. All right. So you want them to be quick on their feet.
They got to be able to move their feet.
All right. We did not wrap up properly the Super Bowl. Mahomes does it again. Where does this put? You can be objective. Where do we put him? There are only a handful of quarterbacks who have 3, right? Or more.
Oh, he's up there.
Right. I mean, you got Tom Brady. You got Bradshaw.
He's showing how special he is.
Montana, right? Yeah. And he's young.
He's not the GOAT yet, though.
He's not the GOAT. No, I would never call him that. Okay. You know, if you're talking about quarterbacks at the GOAT, I mean, Brady has to be at the top of that list.
He's getting close to being on the Mount Rushmore for me.
Really?
Yeah.
He's that good.
If he gets another one, he's on there.
Right. And here's the thing. I'm not a huge Patrick Mahomes fan, but he finds a way to find the magic and make it happen. You can call it being the beneficiary of calls. So was Jordan. So was Kobe. Right? But he finds a way to make it happen.
You have somebody in that position and they can do that. It always gives you hope.
And he lost his best receiver this year, right? Tyreek is gone.
Lost his biggest playmaker. Best receiver still there.
Kelsey?
Yeah.
You call him that? Okay. All right. And he doesn't have what I feel to be a backfield that is, stellar.
They're just steady Eddie, and the guy that needs to be in the talks of the GOAT is...
Hello, say it.
Mr. Reid.
Andy Reid. Andy Reid, say it. He's done it 3 times in Kansas City.
Come on, he figured out when they were in a rut.
Early in this season.
When everybody counted him out.
Including me.
To get back.
Yep.
And win it.
Did the damn thing. On the road. Didn't have a home playoff game.
Playoff game.
Shazam. Beat Baltimore. Beat Buffalo. And had to go to Miami, right?
Yep.
Had to go to Miami. Had to go to Buffalo, where an hour before the game, it looked like a blizzard hit that place. They had to play in that, and then they had to go play in Baltimore.
He got it done.
They found a way to get it done. Yes, they did. That wraps up this segment of Take a TO. We will be back after these messages.
The hottest hits, lighting and visual effects, heart-pounding bass. The Mid-Atlantic Professional DJ Association. Dynamic DJ Entertainment.
Healthy Baller is dedicated to developing athletes at any level through customized programs created by our world-class trainers. Healthy Baller creates an unparalleled training experience centered around the athlete and coach relationship. Between our physical therapy team and strength and conditioning staff, we create an all-encompassing process to help injured athletes return to the field. Become your own success story. We offer group and team training, individual workouts, or semi-private training. Call 844-622-5537 or visit healthyballer.com.
Everyone loves a photo booth. At Epic Photo Booths, we provide your corporate event, private party, mitzvah, or any event with an incredibly fun photo booth experience. With a touchscreen design, fun props, backdrops, and more, you'll want to book your Epic Photo Booth today. Photos are delivered via text, QR code, airdrop, and yeah, our Epic booths print too. Book your Epic Photo Booth today by going to www.epicbooths.com. Epic Photo Booths. Elevate the fun at your next event. Go to www.epicbooths.com. You're listening to Take a TO with Coach Steve Turner and your host, Kirk Cross.
Listen to us on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and other popular podcast platforms. Tune in on your preferred podcast platform. Be sure to listen, subscribe, and spread the word.
And now, back to Take a TO with Coach Steve Turner and your host, Kurt Cross.
Welcome back to Take a TO with Coach Steve Turner. I'm your host, Kurt Cross, and of course, Coach Turner is the other half of this weekly podcast. Coach, let's get into the next segment. Let's go over some scores. Maryland women got a big win over Rutgers following a big win over Penn State, and Ashley Owusu, who's had 3 different jerseys in the past 4 years. I think she went from Maryland to Vodtech to Penn State, and the Maryland women really need that because sitting at 16-10, you're talking about first 4 out. You're talking on the outside looking in, which is not what we're used to
Not what we're
in
used
the
to.
Maryland women and Brenda Freeze. They hopefully they get on a little run, win 2 or 3 games in their own tournament, and they should be solid in there. But looking on the men's side right now, LSU is giving Kentucky a little bit of run at 27-26, and Kentucky is ranked 17th, and LSU ain't even ranked. So we also mentioned that George Mason got a big win over Dayton. Dayton's always good in that Colonial, right?
They're 8-10.
A10, sorry. I don't know why I said Colonial.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
They're, the A10, Dayton is always there. Dayton is always there. I called games in the A10, and Dayton was always there.
Steady Eddie.
The Dayton Flyers, maybe? Is that what they are,
That's
right?
what they are.
All right, Coach, the elephant in the room. Let's get to it, brother. WCAC playoffs. Let's start with the boys' bracket. On Thursday, Carroll versus Riken, DeMatha versus the Heights, Ireton versus Good Counsel, and then the winner of Carroll Riken gets to see PVI. The winner of DeMatha versus the Heights gets to see St. John's. And then the winner of Ireton Good Counsel, that's the game you'll be watching, will come see you. O'Connell and McNamara are pushed forward. They'll be in the round with you guys as well.
No. McNamara will match up with PVI.
I got O'Connell McNamara.
Yeah.
Right?
No, they play.
Right.
But they're
The winner of that.
their winners will go against the PVI winner.
So who, the Carroll Riken winner goes against who?
You said Carroll Riken will play PVI.
That's what I just said,
No,
fool.
but I thought you were saying we were all in the same bracket.
No, I'm sorry. I should not say. Carroll will play Riken. That winner plays PVI.
Yep.
DeMatha against the Heights. That winner will play St. John's. Ireton versus Good Counsel. That winner will play Gonzaga. And I think O'Connell McNamara
It's already set.
is already set. Thank you. That's what I should have said.
And now it's St. John's and DeMatha is already set. Riken dropped out.
Riken.
I'm sorry. The Heights dropped out.
Okay, you didn't tell me that before we got here. What the hell happened there?
We'd all like to know. But we got a call that they are out. They made a choice to not participate in the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
So DeMatha gets a first round bye, in other words.
Technically.
So they'll see St. John's on Saturday.
Correct.
Wow. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my pen out. Let's go ahead and make that change. I didn't see a tweet or anything, but I got the source right here.
The guy from Capital Hoops,
He posted it?
he posted it and put up updates on his
I didn't even see it.
Instagram. So
Didn't even see it. But okay, all right. So we have a matchup that's already set. I'm looking. I'm going to have to go in there and see. All right, well, Capital Hoops put it out there. You already knew it. So DeMatha will play St. John's on Saturday. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. You got nothing to say?
it should be.
Right.
But we know that there's
Oh, they're going to be down one player.
one of the teams will be down a key player.
Right.
But it's St. John's DeMatha.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
All right, Carroll versus Riken, they'll see PVI. I'm not going to ask you on this podcast to make any predictions. Ireton Good Counsel sees you, and then O'Connell McNamara set. I'm going to go that Carroll will beat Riken and they'll see PVI. DeMatha and St. John's, I'm not calling that one. Ireton will beat Good Counsel is my guess. I tried to call the name of the Ireton coach earlier, and I can't say his name.
Dwayne Bryant.
Dwayne Bryant. He does an excellent job over there.
He's the AD and does an excellent job. People who don't remember the name.
I do.
Remember the name in a couple places. He did a hell of a job at Georgetown Prep as the head coach of Roy Hibbert.
And before that.
And played his college ball for Mr. Thompson.
On the hill.
God rest his soul, on the hill down in Georgetown.
Yes, he did. So I'm going to go with Ireton in that one versus Gonzaga. I'm going to have, I really feel like, I'm not saying much here, but I think we're looking at PVI, St. John's, Gonzaga being the teams to look at. But now that DeMatha has extra time off, that's going to be an interesting game. And if one of those teams is down a key player, that's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be an interesting game. So we will see you folks at Gallaudet this weekend. And then I have tickets for Monday night. And you know where I'll be at 6 and 8 o'clock. You know where I'll be at 6 and 8 o'clock. If the matchups are stinky poo-poo, I will forego my tickets. But otherwise, I plan on being
I don't think you can have any bad matchups. This is both the men and the women have some great teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I think whoever the two that get to the finals in both,
right,
be another special playoff in the WCAC.
WCAC playoffs on the girls' side, O'Connell versus Riken for the right to play McNamara. Seton versus Holy Cross for the right to see Ireton. Matchups that are set are Good Counsel, PVI, St. John's, Carroll. I don't know if you pay much attention to the girls' side, but is there anything there that you're interested in, or what are you thinking you'll see, or where are the riveting matchups or storylines? Because I have one. There's one that stands out big time right now to me.
Don't sleep on Ireton.
Don't sleep on Ireton, okay. St. John's, Carroll. Carroll beat St. John's on the girls' side by double digits earlier in the season. St. John's came back and were whooping Carroll in the second matchup of the season, and it ended up being a lot closer. Fans were really charged up for that game. I think that St. John's-Carroll matchup is going to be a good one. I also think PVI, they're a very good team, and Good Counsel proved to be a very good team on the girls' side this year. Riken, she does a great job down there at Riken. Seton, the Holy Cross, I think Seton is going to do some things in that game. Seton started off hot this year, had a little bit of a slump. You said don't sleep on Ireton. I think Ireton advances, and they beat the Seton Holy Cross winner. I think McNamara and St. John's are on a crash course yet again. I think they're on a crash course. I really do. Again, but sleepers could be Ireton and PVI. I think you look at those teams. I don't think Seton is there yet, but it's one game. It's one game. You win one and you're
0-0.
That's all it is, right?
5 in advance.
The records don't matter?
Gone.
Ain't no power rankings?
Out the door.
Hey, you don't get no.
Got to find a way to win it.
You don't get a win for good behavior?
No, sir.
So when it strikes 0, whoever's on top advances.
Correct.
And if you're lucky, you might get into a private school playoff or DCSSAA or something like that later down the road, right?
Correct.
Which starts next week. Hey, shout out to your guy and my guy, Sean Tracy. Steve, can you please explain to our audience how my man, Sean Tracy, who, by the way, I think he's one of the top coaches in public school ball, right? And I think, shout out to Ryan Ingalls. I think she is the number 1 or number 2 female coach or women's coach in Montgomery County. I think Sissy at Clarksburg is number 1. I think Ryan Ingalls, my former assistant coach, I think she is number 2. But Sean Tracy is one of the top dogs. He has done it consistently, even when he's been understaffed or, undermanned. And Sean Tracy played football for me 25, 30 years ago. You know him as well. But Sean Tracy and his BCC Barons are in the championship game this Friday. Tell me how they did it when 4 teams had the same record at 16-4 in Montgomery County.
Montgomery County said, pull your quarter out and flip it.
Okay.
4 teams.
We're 16-4.
16-4.
Right.
Vying to play in the county championship.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with advancing to the states. This is just the county championship.
Right.
And my god brother, man, he know how to flip that coin.
He did. He flipped the coin, and they advanced.
To play Friday. I don't even know who they're playing. But the county even had this coin toss on Zoom.
Right.
For anyone to see. And old boy Sean got it done.
Got it done. So he advances based on the coin flip. So
we're talking WCAC. There's so many. This game is in these sports are so 6 degrees of separation.
Right.
So you also know the St. John's head coach,
Okay.
Jonathan Scribner,
Right.
has a son who plays on that BCC team,
Does he really?
who used to play for us at Gonzaga.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Lucas,
Lucas.
tough as nails.
So Scribner will likely be there on Friday if he's not
If,
coaching.
if he's working out his practice, if he worked out his practice plan right, he'll be over at RM at 5:30 watching his son play.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. So BCC will go on to play. I don't have it. It's not here on County Sports Zone who they will play, but I cannot recall who they're going to play this weekend, but they will do that on Friday. So explain to me how this works. They'll do that for a county championship.
County championship, and
then playoffs start next
week.
week.
And then the playoffs start next week.
So this is really bragging rights.
Yes.
More so bragging rights, because everyone's going to get their shot in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then we'll see and we'll break that down next week or something like that. But now they went 16-4, as did a bunch of other teams. I don't know the other teams who were involved in that coin flip.
I think there was Paint Branch, maybe. I can't think of the other two.
I don't know how RM ended up, but let's see if we can look at it. Who ended up? 16-4 was Kennedy, Paint Branch.
Kennedy was one, Paint Branch, and I don't think Blake was it.
Nah, so it must have been BCC, Kennedy, Paint Branch, and Whitman, maybe? Because we're looking at something that doesn't look right here in the standings.
Correct.
Right, something doesn't look right here.
But either way, BCC
did it.
5:30, Richard Montgomery.
Big Jim.
Be there, be square.
All right, Dawn Staley. She has now set the record with most SEC consecutive wins at 46. She beat my girl Pat Summitt in doing so. Talk to me about Dawn Staley. We've given her a lot of love here, but I think people see her as fiery. I think people see her as the rich getting richer, but she's still doing it even in an NIL world, and those girls respect her. They haven't wavered. They're beating teams the way they're supposed to, and she's got 46 straight wins in the SEC. It's hard to want to crown someone when we remember a time when there was no Dawn Staley coaching at South Carolina. But she's done some things, and where do you rank her right now amongst coaches in the women's side and coaches overall?
In the women's side, one of the best 4 all time.
Okay. You got Vanderbilt, Mulkey, you got Gino, you got her right now.
Current. And
right.
You have to put in, God rest her soul, Pat Summitt.
Right.
So top 5.
Top 5.
And I think she's top 10. I think she's top 10.
All time.
All time.
All right. I'll give her that. Love watching her girls play.
I think what's neat is she is the one coach that I'm watching at any level who gets to keep being who she is.
Right. They're not changing that.
No.
And it works.
And she finds players who trust it and understand it, and they win.
NBA playoffs. The All-Star break is over. Most people did not like what they saw All-Star weekend.
Terrible.
I love it. I want to see 200 points. I'm good with it.
Terrible.
I fell asleep on the game, though.
Terrible.
But
Terrible.
What are we looking at moving forward? Because guess what? The NBA All-Star break is no longer in the midway point of the season. You have 82 games. We've got like 30 left now. So it's more than halfway there. Injuries are going to start to show their face. You know, people are going to hit the wall who are coming out of college, who are playing in the NBA right now. What are we looking at moving forward? Lakers got to make a move right now, because if they don't, play-in is out of the question. Clippers are looking good right now. Doc's got to get the Bucks together. The Knicks are looking good. Philly, I don't know, because they got some key players out. But right now, you're looking at teams like the Clippers and the Celtics. And if Milwaukee makes a push, this is what we're looking at. Because in the West, I mean, Denver will be there, I guess. But I'm not believing that, you know, Minnesota, who's been in first place for quite some time this year, I'm not believing that they're the ones who are going to do it. What you got for me, Coach?
In the West?
Yeah. In the West, what you got?
Still got to go through Joker.
Still got to go through Joker. Them Clippers look good, though, man.
I like the Clippers.
And Shea is leading that Oklahoma City team.
I don't know that they have still got enough to do it when it's all said and done.
Right. They're young.
But I like them.
Okay.
But I think right now in the West, I would... Joker.
Okay.
Clips.
Don't count out KD.
Oh, you know I ain't counting my boy.
All right.
My Suns. I think those are the three.
Those are the three. My Lakers don't get no love from you?
If they stay healthy and D'Angelo keeps playing like he's playing,
Because he's killing it right now. Yeah.
they're in the top 4.
Talk to me about the East. What do you see in the East?
Celtics.
That's all. Come on, Coach. That's all you see?
The Bucks. I mean, I think the Bucks can try to figure some things out.
For me, Jaylen Brown has not been the Jaylen Brown we've seen the past couple of years.
I don't know, but Tatum's becoming a man.
So this is what I saw All-Star Weekend, okay? Something that disappointed me a little bit. Jason Tatum just met Larry Bird this past weekend at the All-Star game.
It's crazy.
Larry Bird couldn't take the time to come to the Celtics, like give some inspiration. This is the future of I don't believe it's Tatum's place to go knock on Larry Bird's door. That's Larry Legend, right?
I would agree. Something tells me there's something with the Celtics.
There's a disconnect.
And Bird.
Right?
You never hear them talk about it.
He's never in the arena, right?
He's never there.
Right?
It's something there that has not been touched on.
Right, because in my opinion, if he wants to be, he should sit in one of those offices, right? At least contribute somehow, right?
Yeah.
He's Larry Legend, right?
It's interesting. There's something there.
So you see Celtics. My dark horse in the East, because I believe they have the best coach outside of Pop in the NBA, is the Miami Heat.
They're always going to be in the mix.
Right. Jimmy Butler is playoff Jimmy, right?
You know what? And I'll say this. Don't sleep on them Sixers if they can be healthy.
Really?
I don't think they can get all the way there, but I think they can mess the party up for somebody.
Okay. So they're going to play mess the party up for someone. Knicks have been playing well. Jalen Brunson plays well. Let's see what Doc can do with Milwaukee. And by the way, I think that JJ needs to hush. Did you hear what he said the other day?
He's out of control. I'm as much as I love him as a player, I don't like him as
a commentator.
Yeah, he sticks his foot in his mouth too much.
Yeah, because he's talking about Doc. He's talking about Doc.
He's talking about everybody.
Right. Okay. See, I haven't caught as much as you caught. All right. Coach, anything you want to say to the people? We covered NBA. We covered Don Staley. We covered Sean Tracy and Moco basketball. We covered, WCAC playoffs. We covered the Redskins. We covered the starting five. We had a pretty robust show, and we've done it in under an hour, sir.
If you want great entertainment,
talk to the people.
At a cheap ticket.
It's like 10 or 15 maybe?
15 at the door, 10 online.
Right, okay.
See ya, Gallaudet.
And then turn the party over to?
And then move it over to AU for the next 2 days.
All right. I hear you, sir. That will do it for Take a TO with Coach Steve Turner. I'm your host, Kurt Cross. We'll be right back here for episode 17. Before you know it, you can listen to us on Buzzsprout, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast content. You can go on Instagram and you can find us there. We do some things, but I'll tell you, watch our Instagram the next coming days. There will be some photos. There'll be some scores. Coach Turner and his Gonzaga Purple Eagles are taking the party to the WCAC playoffs. And it's going to get hot down there. And then DCSSAA, and then beyond that, there's no more Alhambra, but what's beyond that for you?
I hope Geico.
You hope Geico? All right, I hear you. Folks, we'll see you next time. Coach, tell the people goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, but before I say goodbye, be on the lookout this weekend on my Instagram at Coach Steve Turner. I am partnering up with someone.
Talk about it.
And we're doing something to benefit mental health.
Oh.
And I will be asking for a lot of your support. So I hope that when you see what I put out, that you can lend a helping hand. And we'll talk a lot more about this next week on the podcast.
All right, so watch his Instagram, y'all. You heard it here first. We'll see you next time.